Alright, half term week is over. I have brief freedom from work now. So, and we also have a chapter of 4 nights raring and ready to go. Chapter 182, titled A Cruel Death. And it's probably talking about how obviously the cover page of it really, after Rose just did the deed of offing Theodora, one of his only friends. And we go to the next page and see that Theodora was really crying his eyes out and drooling as well. Oh man, Rose made him go out sad, made him look like Rinatoshi, that fraud. He's no longer #1, by the way. So I'm used to praying for times like these. Rose starts having flashbacks of the two of them during their childhood and apologizes, saying that he can promise him that Turret and him will do their best to keep Ironside safe, and tells him to rest in peace as he turns away. But then we see this nigga Theodora is stood up. Rose immediately hears it obviously and turns around and is just like,
is this nigga serious?
Is going on? I broke your neck, nigga. And we go to see that Theodora's neck is completely fine, confusing Rose and us. Yes, you and me, because I'm flabbergasted, and even more so seeing that Rose's neck suddenly snaps and he drops to the floor, lifeless. As we then see these two panels of, I'm assuming that's his magic force, or worst possible case scenario, his soul. It's literally, no, it's his magic force and soul, because it's getting, that shit seems to be getting absorbed by Theodora. From this panel of like the moons and shit, I'm guessing some time has passed. So then we see Turret barging through other people as he's wondering what's happened to Rose and that he's way too late. And he goes to find him, calling him a lazy bum, and questions how much it can take to finish off a half-wit like Theodora, only to find Rose sitting down. And is obviously he's thinking, so you was just sitting there contemplating what you did, and you probably did the deed, and where's the body? And Turret goes on to grab him by the shoulders like, I was afraid you might have took pity on him at the last minute. But to find that Rose's body was just lifeless, and as it falls to the ground, his tongue rolling out as well.
This is a sick Negro.
Leaving Turret terrified. And then we hear Theodora talking about how Rose made the blunder, that he'd still be alive if it wasn't for Turret's words. So Turret spins around to find that Theodora is completely fine with this menacing grin. This smile looks very familiar, and I don't like this smile. I wonder why. Turret is just like, this is impossible. Like, you should have been. And then Theodora interrupts, saying that, Rose made the same face when he died too. And it's just like, and Theodora's just like, so what are you gonna do, fam? You gonna try to put your hands on me? Bet, do it. Turret does, and starts whipping him about on American Black History Month. As of me recording this, the 26th, shocking. There seems to be so much that it would literally kill a mortal man, and Turret says farewell to him, only to then receive all the damage he'd done inflicted back on him. Bro, is this the balance? Because what is going on right now with Theodora? Is this like his magical power? Did he have this the entire time? Turret is obviously confused as he drops to the ground, and Theodora is just like, I think I have the knack of it now. It's explaining that he has the power of divine punishment to protect himself from those who would hurt him, but is ashamed that it doesn't really apply to his clothing. This obviously shocks Turret and us as well. Yes, me and you. I'm not speaking French. And he goes on to explain that this is his magic. And he basically just does self-performance work and glazes himself, talking about how God probably gifted this to him. And that once pitiful, nothing to his name, a poor little kid betrayed by those he trusted, a sad case thrown into the sea of despair. So he did unlock that magic as soon as Rose was... Oh my days, hold on. Call me Luffy, because I actually might have future sight right now. And Theodora goes on to state that there's another neat aspect of it, as he held his hand out but is confused at something, and he talks about how it just came out of Rose and why it's not coming out of Turret. And he thinks for a little bit, saying that, it's because you're still alive. So then he starts throwing up some familiar gang signs, opening that little garganta that Rose could, opening a portal to purgatory, confusing Turret, and was wondering why Theodora can use the gatekeeper skill. But before he can even get any more words out, he gets melted away by the miasma. And then all of a sudden, his either magic force or soul itself comes out of his body into Theodora's. And this nigga is looking like a freaky ass nigga on some muscular shit. Talking about how he likes the sensation of being filled up. Like, what are we talking about here, bro? He goes on to state Rose and Turret's names to thank them for their despair that they inflicted on him to help him finally be released from his pain, and that now he doesn't even care about Ironside and that he can just live fine all by himself. Yeah, nah, this nigga Theodora is moving like Beast 7, man. Oh, you Olga Marie talking about some 7 wasn't enough. Next time bring 100, ass nigga. And then Percival senses a sudden disturbance of how Turret and Rose suddenly died. Nasians questions, yo, what happened to them? And Percival's just like, he doesn't know, but in just a few minutes, their life spirits were forcibly sent back to the spirit realm. And yet their magic forces still continue to exist, with Nasians and us probably wondering also, yo, what does that mean then? And Percival's just like, I have no idea, man, no clue whatsoever. But he does have a terrible feeling about all this, and warns Nasians to take all due caution necessary in tomorrow's match. And so we move on to day 2 of the Gladiator Festival, leaving us with the end of the chapter, really. And man, oh man, oh man, this was a shock to say the least. Man said he came on the brink of death. This nigga developed his magical ability and spun back immediately on Rose and Turret, which, oh my days, it's crazy. I could not have predicted this. I mean, I kind of did, with him unlocking his magic right on the brink of death to do something, but I didn't think it would be to this extent. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, one thing about this new divine judgment thing that he has, it reminds me a lot. Well, one aspect of it is that it reminds me quite a bit of Melascula's or the demon race's soul absorbing ability. But unlike that, rather than just absorb the soul, not giving it a chance to reincarnate, it seems to obviously take the magic power, leaving the spirit to be sent back to the spirit realm for reincarnation. This outcome, this nigga Theodora doesn't even care about Ironside no more, apparently. So I guess I don't like father like son in this scenario, I guess. But who knows if that'll change. Like Percival says to Nasians, it's best for Nasians to be careful come their match against Theodora. Yeah, I don't really have much else really to say. Predictions, I mean, next chapter is gonna be the fight between Percival and Mystery Package anyways. We might get Percival's sword. From this development, I think it's safe to say Nasians will be in a losing situation, because facing both Gatekeeper and whatever Turret's ability was called at the same time, that's gonna be quite annoying to deal with. Very, very annoying to deal with. Nasians was just barely able to get by Gatekeeper, but that on top of like monsters from Purgatory, I don't think Nasians. I love Nasians. Y'all know I love Nasians. I'm like the second biggest Nasians fan here. Well, let me not lie. The fourth. How fantastic! I'm the 4th biggest Nasians fan here, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let me not scribble him out the equation just yet. But yeah, this was an interesting development, to say the least. What a shock, really. Like, all the empathy. I'm low-key kind of mad, because all the empathy and shit I was showing to Theodora last chapter, as a nigga who understands what it's like to realize people you thought were your friends were never actually your friends, to understand that and then see this nigga do I mean, to be fair, they slimed him first, so I can't get too mad, but I feel like the empathy I had just went to waste. But at least this way it gives Theodora a sort of way to actually come up against Percival, because it's obviously going to lead to that on an even playing field. I just hope that Theodora, in this new high of getting his powers, he doesn't just aim to go to kill Nasians, because that will not bode well for him at all. But yeah, that's what I have to say on this chapter. Quite a shock, but yeah, that's all. Take care till next time for chapter 183, where we'll obviously pick up from the tournament. See you guys then. Also, like and subscribe and follow the socials, yada yada yada.
L excuses, right hand on the Bible. God can strike me down if I'm lying. That motherfucker's cheating! Take my word!